Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much. If you're watching in another country, good evening. Um, and this is very important to my super chat. Thank you so very much. This is not something that is optimal. You don't want this to take place. You definitely don't want this to take place in any Senate recount. Hello, everyone. Thank you so very much. Hello, Paul from Oxford, England. Thank you. This is something that is not good. Michael, thank you. Very, very bad. Very bad. Eric, we're glad you're feeling better. Let me read this to you. And this is so frustrating. It is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. It's so mind-boggling. It's so confusing. And it's so disheartening. Federal judge weighs delay as deadline looms for Florida recount. This is not an example to set for other countries. Other people around the world, they're like, oh, look at America. Well, look at us. No wonder the Democrats did somewhat, I guess, okay. Historically, they shouldn't even have lost the House, which they will. Even with Rick Scott, if let's say Rick Scott loses, they'll still lose the House, but he won't. I don't believe he'll lose, but this is not good. The Florida recount saga enters a new chapter today, maybe. The state's 67 counties are supposed to complete machine recounts for the governor, Senate, and agricultural commissioner races by 3 p.m. Eastern. But Democratic Senator Bill Nelson, who is over 12,000 votes behind Republican Governor Rick Scott in the Senate race, has asked for a federal judge to push that deadline back so every county can complete its second tally of ballots. You know, one could think that Broward County deliberately waited until the last minute to ensure that Bill Nelson could win. That is very bizarre. Could that have been the case? We don't know. We don't know. To my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. One heavily populated county has already indicated it will almost certainly miss the deadline if it isn't changed. Well, that's too bad. The judge should not postpone. It is November 15th, ladies and gentlemen. It is November 15th. The election was November 6th. It's a November 6th. The election was November 6th. Only Democrats could extend it to November 15th. They'll be voting on the Senate. If you leave it up to Democrats, they'll vote in November of 2020. They'll vote for the Senate race here in Florida. California, but in Florida. Just don't. If the judge is smart, he or she will not postpone the deadline, because if you postpone and if you give Bill Nelson an extension, the guy could possibly cheat and win. I mean, are they just going to postpone it until until the Democrat wins? Really? Is that what's happening here? Is that what's really going on? I think John Carpenter, I think Schiff is going to bark up the wrong tree, because Bezos is not exactly he's what, like the second or third richest man in the world, or the first richest man, the wealthiest man in the world. So most people aren't really pulling to ensure that, he's treated fairly by Trump. So let's continue this. So U.S. District Judge Mark Walker wrote, quote, "Time is of the essence in resolving this matter and scheduling a 9 a.m. status hearing on Thursday to hear arguments on the case." Well, what are the arguments? Here are the arguments. Bill Nelson's going to say, we need more time. We need more time. And Rick Scott's lawyers are going to say you had. First of all, there's no reason. There is zero reason why Broward County couldn't have already completed its vote count. You had areas in Florida that were devastated by the recent hurricane, and they were on time. You have Broward County, who, by the way, a judge stated the Broward County election officials illegally destroyed ballots in 2016 in a contest between Tim Canova and Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So then you have the DNC primate. RC Works is the CIA and FBI in charge of our elections. RC Works. I think that generally our elections are okay. You have certain places that are political machines, like Tammany Hall. In our history, we had in the late 1800s and early 1900s, we had Tammany Hall in New York. These are political machines. So Chicago, Florida. You have political machines, RC Works, that kind of filter through, and Broward County is one of those areas. It's just a pocket within Florida that I have family in Broward County. Actually, it's a pocket in Florida that is 100% Democrat, and it's been Democrat for a long time. So I think that Rick Scott, they can't extend this. If they extend this, it's probably not going to be good. But if it's an extension, I think they'll probably extend it to just Friday. I can't imagine the judge saying, we'll extend it next week. We'll give you a week. How about 2-3 weeks, Broward County? How about a month? How about 2 months? Why don't they just extend it to whenever Bill Nelson is up by a vote, they'll stop they'll then demand the vote count. 12,000 votes. And rest assured, I mean, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, wait a second. If Broward County's not done, Scott probably is going to be down past 12,000 in Broward County. But I have a very difficult time imagining how they're going to get away with it. So this is going to be very, very difficult. This is all about, by the way, of course, this is all about the upcoming, heaven forbid, if something happens to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, if she retires, the upcoming Supreme Court pick. Trump has already picked 2. You saw what they did with Kavanaugh. I mean, it was just a debacle. It was an absolute travesty what they did with Kavanaugh. Brian, I do sleep, but I have insomnia. So I'm up all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be good if Broward County is given more time, because then theoretically you have Rick Scott down 1,000. Then Bill Nelson's gonna take it after a week of extra vote counts. And also the problem with the recount is this. It's not just the issue of the deadline. We have no idea how many votes were taken in after the Tuesday deadline. Okay, there were cutoffs in time. There were certain times that had to be that Broward and other counties had to abide by. We have no clue if they did. We are assuming that they followed every procedure And then when we look just a little closer, we find out that in one case, in one county, Broward failed to follow a number of procedures. They were calling up people in Miami saying that you could what was it? Like they just don't care. And they hide behind the haphazard nature of how they do things. And it just so happens that Rick Nelson gains a lead. It just so happens. Sorry for the picture quality. Sorry for the picture quality. So, yeah, I mean, you know, let's look at what the meaning of haphazard. Lacking any obvious principle of organization, pretty much. Disorganized, disorderly, chaotic, arbitrary, slapdash, slipshod. Is this even a word? Higgledy-piggledy. Wow. Messy, chaotic, muddled, confused, unsystematic, irregular. Higgledy-piggledy. Are you kidding me? Higgledy-piggledy. Wow. I didn't even know that was a word. It's crazy. Anyway, it just never ends. By the current timeline, machine recounts of the state's more than 8 million ballots are supposed to be done by Thursday. If any of the 3 statewide races are found after that recount to be within a quarter of a percentage point margin, okay, then the entire state will conduct a hand recount of ballots. Wow, that should be really fun. That either registered an undervote or an overvote in the race. An undervote is when a marking isn't registered for the race. An undervote is when the marking isn't registered for the race. An overvote is when more than one marking is registered. What? Hold on one second to find this out. Tango, I will not. I will support Trump. The only 2 reasons I won't support Trump is if God forbid, something happens with Julian Assange or we get into a counterinsurgency war, a regime change. Otherwise, I don't care if Bernie is the nominee. I'm voting for Trump 2020. Undervote, meaning undervote, a ballot not counted because of unclear marking by the voter. Oh no, not again. Not again. So here we go again. Barring lawsuits, that process would need to be completed by Sunday. The chief argument for pushing back the deadlines is that 2 South Florida counties, Broward and Palm Beach, weren't done with their recount yet as of Wednesday night. They weren't done with their recount because machines were malfunctioning. Ballot boxes were all over the place. They had to turn away people at one point for voting twice. It's a complete mess. Broward County was already deemed to have illegally destroyed ballots in the past. So I hope that they don't steal it from Rick Scott, but if they do, the federal government will get involved. So, I mean, Rick Scott fights. Bernie didn't fight. He got cheated, and he was like, okay, fine, bye-bye. And he wasn't happy about it, but he just acquiesced. And then he campaigned for his tormentors. Makes you wonder if they're really his tormentors. Makes you wonder if he was just like, the more extreme, the more left-leaning version of the Democratic Party always. A Broward County election official said that the county expects to be completed by Thursday morning. Oh, that's good. That's good. One way to think about it, this is that, well, Broward County doesn't want a magnifying glass on it. So I mean, that's one thing. What they do, what Democrats do is very interesting. They demand absolute categorical proof that Trump didn't work with Russia when they have no proof. So they make a ridiculous claim, and they legitimize it by by using people like James Comey and John Brennan and Clapper, the biggest clowns on the planet. And then they say, well, you can't prove it didn't happen, which is meaningless. With Republicans, there are all these voting irregularities, blatant attempts at stealing an election. We have proof already from the DNC emails that Bernie Sanders was cheated in the primary. We have already a judge who ruled that Dr. Snipes and Broward had illegally destroyed ballots. And then they say, how dare you? How dare you? 57,000 votes down to 12,000 votes. This is not good. Not good at all. Today is the day that the votes should stop, that they should stop counting votes. By the way, I'm very, very excited, actually. I'm going to start writing in the Times of Israel. It's one of Israel's biggest newspapers and publications, and I'll be writing in the blog section, and I'm really happy about that. It's awesome. I was just published in the Jerusalem Post, Israel's largest newspaper, and I'm looking forward to being published more there as well. So I'm pretty happy. Very excited to be. I'm going to have an article up in the Times of Israel, hopefully in the next couple of days or so. But anyway, so I don't think they were designed to work 24/7. So one of the machines broke down. Over the past few days, those voting machines overheated, spoiling vote counts and forcing the county to restart its recount of 175,000 votes. So I don't know how this is going to go, because Palm Beach and Broward have hundreds of thousands of votes. So if 12,000 separate, I hope that Rick Scott pulls it off. I want Republicans to win. Obviously. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, no, it's actually, the publication is the Times of Israel. It's an Israeli publication, or a publication in Israel, and they have a section where I'm one of the bloggers there, so I can publish articles there. It's pretty cool, actually. I've already published articles before there. I haven't written in a while, though, but I'm going to start writing again in the Times of Israel, and hopefully I'll get published again soon in the Jerusalem Post and some other publications, Daily Caller, working on some other publications too. A number of other lawsuits are swirling around the recount. Judge Walker indicated Wednesday that he was unlikely to order election officials to count thousands of mail-in ballots that were rejected. Good, because signatures on the ballots didn't match the signature on file. Good. Nelson's legal team argued the ballot should count because the way the signatures are checked is inconsistent and unreliable. You have it there for a reason. Walker seemed more amenable to giving voters extra time to fix issues with their signatures, but he has yet to issue a ruling. So, I mean, yeah, this is. I just clicked on one. I don't know if you. It's just some crazy things. This guy made a fatal swatting hoax. Wait, a man who made fatal swatting hoax call pleads guilty to 51 charges. Wow, this is the most horrific. This is in the Wichita Eagle, but the NPR is talking about. This is the most horrific story. I'm not going to get into it just because I don't know. It might, it might touch upon some YouTube policies, but it's the most horrific story. The most horrific story. It's just you gotta. Thank you, William Sarokan. Thank you. You got to be careful nowadays. This guy called up and doxed somebody. And what game was he playing? And then he called and said this horrible thing was taking place. And then the police came and a tragedy took place, and just a horrific tragedy. It's like, what is with people now? Like, well, I guess young kids, they don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm getting old. I don't remember kids doing that type of thing growing up. Like, the internet messes with people's brains. It really does. I don't remember, like, when I was 15, 16, 17, I would never call up the police and pretend some tragedy was taking place to get them to go someplace. I would never do that. I would never think of doing that. And I wasn't like a perfect. Nobody's a perfect person. I wasn't a perfect kid, but like why do that? Why go ahead and do that? That was it's a horrible story that took place. But anyway. Yeah, it's crazy. Federal judge weighs in. So I mean, today, I have a very difficult time. I have a very difficult time imagining if Bill Nelson tries to cheat, because you even have Jeb Bush. Who's like, yeah, Bill Nelson, you're done. You're done. You're done, Bill Nelson. Get over it, Bill Nelson. Get over it. Get over it, Bill Nelson. So right now, I think they still have Bill Nelson, and it's 47-51. It'll be 46-52 with 48 Democrats and independents. I believe, which would make it what? 3 or 4? No. So 47, 49, 48, 52. I have a difficult time figuring this out. I believe with Rick Scott. I believe with Rick Scott, it's 3 up 3. So let me see this right here. If you have the actual count, let me know. 53-47. There's 2 independents, though. Is that including Ohio Talon? Is that including the independents for Madge Mac? I'm just wondering what's going on. I can't find it on the internet, on the internets, on the interwebs. Don't you love when people call the internet the interwebs? On the interwebs. How many GOP senators I've done so much to help people? Jeff Sessions. I've done so much to help Trump. And that's how he repays me. With Matthew Whitaker. Thanks a lot, Trumpy. You think that he's so amazing with his big muscles? Well, you don't know what kind of muscles I have. I'll tell you what. They called me the little bald eagle. All right. I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to find out here. It's like, I swear it's like impossible to get a updated Senate. Hold on. All right. Even in this Senate, it looks like other wave years. No, it doesn't. They don't have control of the Senate. Anyway, so okay, United States Senate. Let's look at US Senate.gov. Okay, so 115 Congress. I want to see what it says for Florida. Find your senator. Bill Nelson. They still have Bill Nelson on here. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. So the Senate website still has Bill Nelson. That's great. Stephanie Parker. Stephanie, thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Girl number 3, I don't, but I want it legal. I want it legal everywhere. I'm just tired now. But I don't partake, but I want it federally legal. Legal everywhere. That is something that needs to be You talk about Medicare for all as a right. That needs to be a right. Who's texting me at this hour? Nobody. Okay. Oh, I think YouTube finally let people know I'm on the air. Oh, no. That was a while back. All right. No, that is how they say Medicare for all is a right? No. Marijuana, even though I don't partake in it, is a right. That should be a right, a human right. I think narcotics, I don't consider that I'm against 1,000%, all the drugs. I just don't consider that an actual, I mean, it is, but obviously, but I think alcohol is far worse, far more dangerous, but I think it should be legal. Anyway, why am I spending 10 years on this? Just want to find this. Then Martha McSally, that hurt. Okay, so party division. Okay, so let me just go ahead here. $51.47. Okay, so the list of current members. Let's see if Wikipedia updated. Still 51.47. Okay. If it's 52.46. No. It would still be 47. 52. Gosh. I don't know. Anyway. It's too late right now for me to. Somebody give me the updated, because I believe with Rick Scott, Republicans would be up by 3 Republican senators. If Rick Scott wins, how many Republican senators and how many Democrats plus 2 independents will there be? Give me your final answer in the chat. I know there's a delay. I'll wait. I believe it would be 3 senators up. Is this mic working? Dickens. Damn cheat wave. Hashtag cheat wave. 53.47. Good morning, sunshine. I don't have to. That's pretty good. Air gauge 5 to 6. 53.40. 53.47. Yes. So 53.47. But then what about the 2? Okay. Aha. Yes. Botubification. 53 Republicans, 45 Democrats, and 2 independents. Yes. I like that. That's with Rick Scott. Thank you. Botubification. Botubification. Yes. Yes. So not much of a blue wave. So you'd have 53.47. Is it 53.47? Now I'm questioning. Lord. Would it be 52.40? Oh, forget it. It's too late. All right. So let's see. What else is going on with Rick Scott's three? Regardless, we're looking at it's going to be impossible for Democrats to pull another Kavanaugh. It'll be absolutely impossible for Dems to pull another Kavanaugh. So they won't be able to pull another Kavanaugh, that's for sure. They just won't. Um, the judge's ruling this morning, it'll be what, in like 5 or 6 hours? That's a big, big decision to make. And I hope he does not extend, because then you would be giving a license to people to cheat. That's right. I think it would be 53. Yeah. Or 5347 plus 2. That'd be no. Let's see. So Chuck Schumer is like, oh, when all the votes are counted in Florida, we could have 48 Democratic senators. Vox, Republican wins Florida race. Oh, that's nice. Defeating incumbent Bill Nelson. This was actually November 7th, but recount possible. Now we know the recount is happening. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Thank you so very much. Oh, look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Let's hope there's some good news regarding the recount. Let's hope they don't extend the recount. Is that so? Today is the deadline. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to my super chat. Thank you. God bless. I'll see you today, everyone. Thank you so very much.